At the end of this week's Parsha, the unfortunate reality that some people are poor, and within the reality of being poor, what happens? V'nimkar leger toshav. This is Parachav Hey Pasuk Mem Zayin. He sold to a ger toshav, or le'eker mishpacha ger. He sold to a non-Jew. So the Torah says, Acharei nimkar. He needs to have a geula. Got to redeem him, whether it's his uncle. Echad me'echav has to be galenu. She'er b'saro. And then the Torah in a couple of psukim says there's the chishuv until the Jubilee year. It depends, being a sachir, whether it's od rabot bashanim, if there are many years, then you have to pay based on that money of the purchase, or if it's ma'at nishar b'shanim, then you do a chishav based not on the purchase but according to the years. Fine. Then, right before Maftir, V'im lo yigael be'eleh, if you aren't redeemed, you were not sold for good. Yatsa b'shnat hayovel, hu uvanav imo. The Maftir starts that Kili b'nei Yisrael avadim, avadai heim asher otzeti otam eretz Mitzrayim ani Hashem. As much as that, what I just said is the literal pshat, Rabbeinu Bachai sees a remez into these psukim to a burning question about the nature of what happens in the Geula. That there are two parts. It's a machlokas, Amoraim, Rav and Shmuel, Tanaim, Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Yeshua. How is the Geula going to happen? Do we all have to be Balei Tshuva? Is it only going to happen if we do Tshuva? Or it's going to happen even without Tshuva? It's a machlokas, Rav and Shmuel, Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Yeshua even says, Shmuel says, Dayu la'avel, shi'amod be'avelo. It's machlokas in two opinions in Rashi, whether it's Hashem or it's Am Yisrael, but the bottom line is that when Rabbi Yoshua says that it seems to be not even with tshuva, he then comes and says, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bring a melech to bring a gzeira like Haman. So the question is it with tshuva or not with tshuva? Rav Yehuda Al-Kalai comes and explains one of the Sephardi in the late 1700s, the time of Rav Tzvi Cutler. He explains that there's a concept called tshuva pratit, which is what we usually learn, and then there's a tshuva klalit of coming back to Eretz Yisrael. And he explains the idea, the machlokas between Rav and Shmuel, Rabbi Elazar and Rabbi Yeshua, is that according to Rav, it's talking about tshuva of pratit, your own tshuva of yashuv mechato, versus Shmuel and Rabbi Yeshua is saying that it's not necessarily the tshuva pratit, it's the tshuva klalit of coming back to Eretz Yisrael. And that's where we'll have the Irans, the Hamans out there, for us to come back to Eretz Yisrael. And therefore, in the Gemara, it seems to be that we paskin la halacha that it's going to happen even without tshuva pratit. But the klal psak, the psak is that we paskin like Rabbi Yeshua, the Gemara itself, that Rabbi Elazar was modeh. However, so it sounds like then there is no rule of tshuva at all. So that's where the pasuk in Behar comes. The Rabbeinu Bachai says you should know that it depends. The yachas of tshuva is, if you do tshuva, you're going to bring the geula. This is what the Gemara says. Im zachu achishena. If you do tshuva, Hashem says, I will bring it to you. And that's the question with the pasuk that we read. If it's lefi rova shanim, or is it lefi ma'at? It depends. How much tshuva are you going to do? The pidyon will be dependent on the shanim, dependent on how the tshuva you're going to do. Is it going to mekarev the gula or titrachek the gula? Meaning, having Am Yisrael, Medinat Yisrael, is a concept of Reshit Tzmichu HaKohatein. But how much are we going to get it closer depends on our tshuva. It's going to happen. And that's the end of the pasuk. The pasuk that says that Kili b'nei Yisrael avadim, it's going to be ad shnat hayovel. It's not going to be, there's going to be a set time. And then Hashem says, because after that time, it will not be one more second. Kili b'nei Yisrael avadim. Afilu sha'achat, Hashem will not mitakev, will not hold back that set time. V'lo yu avadim, only to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Rambam seems to argue with this. The Rambam in Hilchot Tshuva says, Kol Nevi'im kulam nitztevu al tshuva ve'in Yisrael nigalim ela b'tshuva. It sounds like that he passes like Rabbi Eliezer. So if you look at the Kesef Mishnah, Rav Drukman in his Sefer Kima Kima tells you to look at the Kesef Mishnah. Gedola, that he's not saying that we paskin like Rabbi Eliezer. That's exactly like he said. The Yachas of Tshuva, the relationship of Tshuva, why we have NCS, why Israel, why we have the Garin Torani, why we have that Kota leadership program, to have the models, is to be able, Gedola Tshuva shemikarevet the Tagula. The Gula is going to happen, whether we do Tshuva or not. But the Tshuva will come in speeding the Gula process. Rav Yehuda Al-Kalai, with this I'll conclude, says that the Rambam here is not talking about the Tshuva Pratit, but he's talking about the Tshuva Klalit. That we want to know, Kol Am Yisrael, Tzivu al Tshuva ve'in Yisrael nigalim el b'Tshuva. The Tshuva Klalit is She'ashuva l'Eretz Yisrael. It's the call, the Rambam says, who coming back, V'shavtad Hashem lokecha kibbutz galiyot. We have the miracle nowadays of having Medinat Yisrael. And we want the Gula, the complete Gula, not only the Reshit. That's where Baruch Hashem, Am Yisrael is being chozer la'artzah. Shabbat Shalom.